For a relationship to work, a man has to be a masculine man and a woman has to be a feminine woman. A lot of modern people today believe that masculinity and femininity is a social construct, that we teach boys to be masculine because we let them play with trucks, and we teach girls to be feminine because we let them play with dolls. And our gender identity is associated of how we are raised in society, but the truth is, it is not. So there is a famous evolutionary psychologist named Gad Saad, Gad, first name, last name Saad, Saad. I follow a lot of his work, and he has proven that biological norms and differences are innate within males and females. It is not a social construct. There were studies where they took young children who are too young to be socialized, which means that their cognitive ability to be able to be taught hasn't been fully developed yet. So they studied these kids who are too young to be socialized and be taught by social constructs, by men and women, by their adults. So they studied their toy preferences. And the toys these babies focused on still remain the same. The boys still like the trucks and the girls still like the dolls. They also did the same study with monkeys and chimpanzees, and the monkeys did exhibit the same behaviors when it came to toy selection. The male monkeys still like the trucks, and the female monkeys still like the dolls. And they also took women who have a I hate this word, endocrinological condition called congenital adrenal hyperplasia, which is a condition that masculinizes biological females because it releases abnormal levels of testosterone into their body like men. And guess what? Those women have the same toy preferences as boys. So that proves that the biological differences exist and are innate within us, hence masculinity versus femininity. Now, what is masculinity and what is femininity? The definition of masculinity are qualities or attributes regarded as characteristics of men and women. The definition of masculinity is qualities or attributes regarded as characteristics of men, and the same goes for women when it comes to femininity, the qualities and attributes regarded as characteristics of women. So what are masculine traits? Strength, ambitious, assertive, independence, courage, leadership. And what are feminine traits? Nurturing, caring, sensitive, supportive, emotional, gentle. All right. So that's the masculine traits. That's the feminine traits. That's the difference between masculinity and femininity. All right. So, all right. So, real quick, I want to ask everybody real quick. So that's the definition of masculinity, femininity. I want to ask everybody real quick. Where do you think that we got those traits? Where do you think that we got the term masculinity and femininity? Do you think someone made it up and it was just a social construct that people just figured out or thought of? Or do you think that it was just certain people just did some observations and realized that there's different biological difference between men and women? At the end of the day, men and women are different. And you can just clearly see it based on our biology. Men are bigger, stronger, faster than women. I don't need a case study to prove that. Men are more assertive and disagreeable than women. There are case studies out there that measure personality traits in the workplace that shows that men are more disagreeable, independent, assertive, and women are more agreeable, more dependent, and not assertive as men. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying men are better than women and women are better than men, but there are clear, precise biological differences between us, and there are certain natural roles and states that we are better at as men and women. And the question is, why are women more caring and nurturing than men? Because women are built to have children. That's a woman's biological purpose, to not only carry the children, but also raise the children, because babies need to be nurtured and cared for. So naturally, that's why a woman is built to be more emotionally nurturing and caring than the man. A man is built to be strong and to be assertive, because he is the one that has to provide and protect the woman when she is in a state of vulnerability, because when she's pregnant and when she has kids, physically, she can't be able to provide and protect for herself. And that is why I always talk about the natural role of a man is to be the leader and the provider and protector for the woman. And the natural role of a woman is to be able to support his man, be nurturing, caring, and raise the kids. This is how it was in the caveman days and since the beginning of time, and how our relationships have always worked. And even though we have gone through thousands of years of evolution, but our innate preferences on what we are attracted to between men and women hasn't changed, even to this day in modern day dating. All right. So there's a reason why women are physically attracted to taller men, to bigger men, to more intelligent men, and to ambitious men who are rich, and men who have higher socioeconomic status. If you guys watch my After Dark podcast and I ask women, it's always the same thing when I ask women. They want a guy that's 6 feet tall. They want a guy that has a good body, that's big and strong, more intelligent, more ambitious. He's going somewhere with his life. He's not a bum, and he wants to make sure that he's financially stable. These are the same things that women have every single time have always shown on this platform, on whenever I have my podcast with them. So it's the same thing from every single woman I've talked to. So at the end of the day, the reason why women are always looking for the more taller, bigger, more intelligent, more ambitious men who have a higher socioeconomic status, because it is a woman's innate survival instinct since the beginning of time in the caveman days to know that the best option for survival for her since the beginning of time in the caveman days and for her children is to be with a strong alpha masculine man, because a strong alpha masculine man showed that he can hunt and bring food consistently to provide, protect, and lead the family. If a woman aligned herself with a weak feminine man, she knew back in the day, in the caveman days, she knew that she would not survive, and she knew that she most would likely die. That is why throughout thousands of years of evolution, it is hardwired in women to want and be attracted to the superior masculine man, not the inferior feminine man. And that is still the same thing today. That is why women are attracted to alpha masculine men who are ambitious, strong, a leader, and can provide and protect and take care of her, because it's their best chance of survival and also living a great quality of life. But here's the caveat. Not all men are alphas, and there are various degrees to a man's masculinity, because there's some men out there that are not as masculine as other men. So because of supply and demand, there's a limited supply of alphas and masculine men out there. So as a woman, if you can't attract those types of men, and just like trying to fight a court case knowing you're going to lose, you're going to have to settle to what's available. I always hear from modern women say, I'm married to a feminine man, or I'm the lead in the relationship. No, bitch, you settled. All right, let's keep it real. You wanted the strong, superior masculine man, but the reality is he doesn't want you. So you wanted Chad, but you have to settle with Steve. All right, let's keep it real. So every single woman in this world wants a strong, masculine, alpha man. But the thing is, there's a difference between what you want and what you can attract, right? And a lot of women today are behaving in a certain way that's not attracting the type of men they want. And if you can't attract the type of men you want, you have to settle for any man that's willing to take you. That's the reality, and that's the straight facts.